Intro to Accounting, Mr. Roberts here. Want to talk to you real quick about our study guide and our mastery problem for Chapter 2. So Chapter 2 only has 3 parts, and we've gone over all 3 parts. You've made a visual representation of transactions, so we should be moving right ahead. And just like we did in Chapter 1, we are going to complete the Chapter 2 study guide and the mastery problem. So the study guide is pretty small. Let me pull this open. And there's identify accounting terms, which it's not like Chapter 1. There's about 7 terms that you need to know. Let's pull it up real quick. There you go. 7, exactly. Shoot, clicked out of it. Then there's analyzing transactions into debits and credit parts, which you can see here. There's different account titles, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, H, and I. This is like received cash from an owner as an investment. Well, what's going to be debited? Well, cash will be debited, right? And then what's going to be credited? Let's see. Received cash from an owner as an investment. So NLE Capital would be the account that would be credited. So then I'd put an F in here. So that's really just how you do this section. That won't take you really long at all, I wouldn't think. Just looking at accounts. And then the last one here is going to be doing some multiple choice and really understanding the concepts. So you have 18 questions there, but not really enough to probably fill up an entire hour. So what I'd like you guys to do then is after the study guide, there was the crossword puzzle in there. You don't have to do the crossword puzzle. I'll just grade it out of 3 because there's 3 sections here. So I'll grade it out of 3 points instead of 4. You do not need to do the crossword puzzle because I think it's kind of a waste of time. But then we have the mastery problem down here, and this is the one that's going to be graded. If you did want more practice, you can always use the randomized one. But let's jump into the mastery. It's 1 section, and it's formatted different than anything that we've had so far. So let's pull up the book, I'm going to show you guys the randomized answer guide. So then I can kind of show you how to do this mastery problem. Because usually when students see it for the first time, they're like, what the heck is this? We've never done this. You've done it, you just haven't done it this way. So I'm going to show the answers here. And these aren't the same answers, so I wouldn't copy them down. But let me move through here. And you can see that the layout's the exact same. But here, if there's there's a lot of open spaces, and most of these are going to be filled out. Most of them, okay? You can see like down here on supplies, they have a spot for credit, but there is no credit area for supplies. Have we ever gotten rid of supplies yet? Have we ever had supplies decrease? No. So why would we ever credit it, right? Same thing for prepaid insurance. We haven't used it yet. So they have a couple accounts here, and maybe on a couple of them, some of the sides aren't going to be used, but most of them are filled in. You see sales here. Well, we're only going to credit sales right now. Why would we ever debit sales unless we had a return, which we don't even get into until advanced accounting. So just kind of little easy things to look at. Same thing with expenses here. We increase expenses. When would we ever decrease expenses? Right? So just a little hint as you're looking through things. And once again, the numbers tell a story. So that's what you want to look at. So let's look at the transactions that occurred here, how we got to these numbers. You can see that there's dates rolling through all this, and they're not skipping any lines. That's usually what some students do, is they'll skip some lines. But here's a T account, and the left-hand side is the debit side, the right-hand side is credit. So it says we received cash from an owner as an investment, and it's on May 1st. So what's affected here? Cash is affected. and then our capital is going to be affected. Cash needs to increase. So what do we do here? We write in May 1st, and cash will increase by $3,875. If I scroll down, I bet you there's a capital account here. There we go. And what happens to the capital on May 1st? It increases, so we have to credit it $3,875. That's it. Okay, for number 2, we paid cash for rent, and it's $630. Cash is going to decrease, so what do? I fill in the next line in cash, right? It's the next available line. So I put in the second, and cash is going to go to $630. I paid cash for rent, so there's probably a rent expense. How do we increase any kind of expense? We debit it. So let's find rent expense. And you can see it's right here. They wrote in May 2nd, and then it's $630. So the next one, paid cash for supplies. You can see here that they just select, if we paid cash, cash is going to go down $425. Supplies would increase $425. You select the next available item, like the next available line. Don't skip any lines. There's no way you'd put May 4th here and then May 9th down here. Sometimes people do that, but this way you can kind of see how the layout is so you can complete this mastery problem successfully. So I want you guys to do the mastery and the study guide today and to watch this video, because if you're watching this video, you're going to get participation points. If you don't watch the video today, then you don't get them. So make sure that you're completing those, and then we'll be moving on to the practice test before the actual test occurs. So if you have any questions for me, please let me know.